All right, so we are on 5-4 day 2. So we're graphing the last of our functions, our trigonometric functions today. So we're going to be graphing secant and cosecant. And you might want to have one other color with you, okay? So if you need to pause the video and go get that, go ahead. All right, so graphing secant and cosecant, we want to go back to the idea of what that definition is. So cosecant is a reciprocal identity. Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, okay? And therefore, I want you to remember what does reciprocal mean? It basically means we flip the fraction, right? So I'm talking about my y value of my graph getting flipped. Okay, so I'm going to pick a color that'll stand out here. And we're going to look right here at the graph of cosecant. Now, I have graphed for you the graph of sine. And that's on purpose because I'm using the sine to come up with my reciprocal. So let's look at some of these points. The first point of sine is 0, 0. So that y value is 0. What's the reciprocal of 0? 0 is like 0 over 1. The reciprocal of that is 1 over 0, which is undefined. What do we know happens when something is undefined? It creates an asymptote. So here is my first asymptote. It happens when sine is at 0. Now, let's go to the other important points. So at pi over 2, sine is 1. Okay, what's the reciprocal of 1? It's still 1. That point exists right there. Now, if I were going to go kind of opposite here, like in between, like if I said, okay, what about pi over 4, right? What's the sign at pi over 4? Remember, if I'm at pi over 4, my ordered pair is root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. So the sine is root 2 over 2. That means that the cosecant would be 2 over root 2. And that has a decimal answer, and that's what I need. So if I take 2 divided by the square root of 2, the square root of 2, it gets me about 1.4. So at pi over 4, I'm up here at about 1.4. And that's the same value at 3 pi over 4. So it's up here. Okay? And when I get to pi, the sign of pi is at 0. So same thing happens as it did before. That's going to give me an asymptote. So what ends up happening here, guys, is this reciprocal function uses the asymptotes. It's like a big parabola right there on top, okay, in that piece. But we have to use the whole thing of sine. So this actually kind of repeats, right? My sine value over here at 2 pi is 0, so that creates another asymptote. My sine value at 3 pi over 2 is -1. The reciprocal of -1 is -1. And all these values just become negative. So we aren't ever very exact on our points for cosecant. We just know that it's basically the two parabolas in between those asymptotes. And I have asymptotes where these are undefined. So on the interval between 0 and 2 pi, cosecant is undefined at 0, at pi, and at 2 pi. All right? And then we look at what happens near those vertical asymptotes. And again, it creates that sort of parabola picture. All right? I think I kind of skipped over this up here, but notice the period of cosecant, and it's also going to be secant, is 2 pi. So the parent graph still has that period of 2 pi because I have to use the entire sine graph in order to give me that. So because they're reciprocals, they have the same, right, period, as sine and cosine do. So let's see if we can do a similar thing then for the next one. 1 period of secant. So remember that secant is the reciprocal of cosine. So again, I have a cosine graphed here. And let's focus on some important things. So cosine, is 0 at pi over 2. And again, 3 pi over 2. So because these are reciprocal functions, I'm telling you that the secant, okay, is undefined at those two spots, at pi over 2 and at 3 pi over 2. Because when that's 0, the reciprocal is undefined. And other than that, this is a very similar graph. So cosine at 0 is 1. So the reciprocal of that is also 1. And you can imagine it's a similar situation at pi over 4. Really, I end up getting a parabola in between my two asymptotes, and on the ends I get sort of half a parabolas. And that's what the function or the parent graph looks like, okay, for secant. Now, you wouldn't have these parent graphs of cosine graphed in your parent graph. I just want you to think about using that in order to decide where are things undefined, and therefore where are my asymptotes, okay? So let's take a look at the back page. So on the back page, we're gonna just kind of talk about how these are very similar to everything else we've done so far. I have the H and the A and the K and the B, okay? And these have a period of 2 pi over K because it's the same as the reciprocal functions. So it's the same as sine and cosine because they're reciprocal functions. And so I'm going to use that same idea, and I'm going to stretch and shrink and move the same way that I have. Okay, so let's focus first on number 1, and let's talk about what is my parent graph. So my parent graph for number 1 is y equals the cosecant of x. And what I'm thinking in my head is cosecant, right, is the reciprocal of sine. So I want to put my parent graph down where I'm saying this is undefined when sine is equal to 0. So that happens at 0, at pi, and at 2 pi. So I'm thinking that before I even think of any other kind of anything, okay? And you'll notice on this one, I actually did already give you 2 boxes to 1, and I gave you 4 boxes to pi. So a lot of times I ask you to figure that out. I didn't in this case. So if I have that ready, then that means I can tell you for my parent graph, I have asymptotes here. And again, I'm thinking, okay, sine at pi over 2 is equal to 1. Therefore, the reciprocal is 1. So my asymptotes are used, and this parabola opens up. And at 3 pi over 2 here, right, it goes down like this. So that is my parent graph graphed. Okay, let's go through our letters. Right here, what's H? 0. So what does that do to my graph? Nothing. What's A? 1/2. So because A is 1/2, what am I going to do with that? I'm going to multiply the y value by 1/2. Okay. What is my K value? K is 2. It's connected to that x. So again, if the k value is 2, I have to figure out what is the period. So the period is 2 pi over k, which means 2 pi over 2, or pi. So pi is half as wide, right? In other words, that means that I'm going to multiply the x value by 1/2. Okay? B value, 0. So I only have 2 things that I need to do. I need to multiply my y value by 1/2, and I need to multiply my x value by 1/2. Because this thing has asymptotes, I am going to worry about those first, and those happen on the x value. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, and then I'm going to do the second thing. So I'm going to set my asymptotes. All right, this first asymptote is at the x value of 0. So 1/2 of 0 is still 0. That asymptote. I don't know what I did there. Uh-oh. I'm not sure why my camera is doing this. All right. Hopefully I didn't screw us up too bad there. Sorry about that. Okay, so then my second asymptote is right here at pi. Whoops. Right here at pi. So 1/2 of pi is pi over 2. So that asymptote gets brought to pi over 2. It's half as wide. And my third asymptote is at 2 pi. So 1/2 of that is pi. So now this whole function is going to happen within those asymptotes, okay, between 0 and pi. So now I'm going to go to my points. And really, guys, we're just going to use our asymptotes here. I don't have too many points to worry about. So this first value, right, maybe I'll start here. This first value is the x value of pi over 2, or 2 boxes. So 1/2 of 2 boxes is 1 box. It brings me over here. And then I have to do the y value. That y value is at 1. 1/2 of 1 is right here at 1/2. So that's where my new point is. And it's just still going to be a parabola looking thing using those 2 asymptotes. Okay? And then we've got this point right here. That x value is at 3 pi over 2. Well, 1/2 of that, guys, is 3 pi over 4. Or I could say 6 boxes, 1/2 of 6 boxes is 3 boxes. Brings me right back here. And then my y value is -1. 1/2 of -1 is -1/2. So that's where my picture goes, and it's just those parabola looking things. So that's one period of the new graph, which means I'm going to create more asymptotes here, and I'm just going to copy it. Looks like that. All right, good. Okay, one more. So this one, parent graph. Parent graph is secant. So secant of x is the reciprocal of cosine. So now I'm thinking, okay, this is undefined when cosine is equal to 0. Where does that happen? That happens at pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. And again, I kind of already have my pi and 2 pi there for you. So I can say the asymptotes happen at pi over 2 and at 3 pi over 2. And I already have you shown 1 box is to 1. So I know cosine of 1 or 0 is 1. And I know this is going to be a parabola looking thing right in the middle and on the ends. So there's my parent graph. All right, what's my h value here? -1. What does that do? It makes my graph go down 1. What's my a value? 2. What's that do? Multiply my y value by 2. What's my k value? 1. What does that do to my graph? Nothing. Means it's going to stay that big, that period size, right? What's my b value? 0. That means it's not going left or right at all. Okay, so I'm going to do my multiplication first, and then I'm going to move it. Now, question, does this affect my asymptotes? No. The asymptotes are on the x-axis. So multiplying the y by 2 does not affect my asymptotes. That means my asymptotes stay where they are. Okay, and then I'm going to take my y value here, which is 1. I'm going to multiply it by 2, which jumps it up here to 2, but then it moves it back down 1. So it actually stays right where it was for that one. Okay, I'm going to go right here. My y value is -1. Times 2 gets me to -2, and then I move it down 1. But I still use these asymptotes right here. Okay, and the last one, my y value is 1. Multiply it by 2 brings me up there, and down 1 brings me back to the same spot. So kind of a weird looking graph. Now, am I finished right there? No, because I should do as much as I can, more periods. So I'm gonna just say, I'm gonna kind of fill this graph in, and there are 4 boxes in between the asymptotes. So I'm going to add another asymptote 4 boxes away here. So I can sort of connect or finish this one, the ones on the top, and then I can find, right, the bottom is going to be 2 in, so it's going to look like this. I don't have the whole thing there, okay, but I can follow that pattern. So that's how number 2 should look. Hopefully that makes sense. So we're putting all of this stuff together now. So I'm going to have you try on page 441, 1 through 6, 13, 16, and 20, 24, 29, and 44.